Read on Reddit.
How are regular people happy that they're working a 9-5 job, have crippling student debt, having to live a small apartment and continue to do the same thing every day until they die? You Bob -9H, I just don't get it. I'm in high school and I'd rather kill myself than work for some big corporation, barely making enough money to get by and live a life without any satisfaction. Whenever I look at a fast food worker or someone working at a basic job, I just feel so bad for them. I know they need to work to survive, but holy fuck, that's depressing. I would just feel like a robot. Boom 7778H. Sometimes they are doing those jobs because they care about someone else's happiness more than their own. Noodle ZIE6H. Guess this is true. Brock RL2H. This is also the reason many suicidal people don't kill themselves. Not speaking from experience or anything. Grimacing face. Edit. Maybe if you replaced happiness with peace though. Snipperpugs2H. Yeah, there's very few things stopping me from ending it, like my lifelong dream and my little sister, as well as hurting my close family members who have truly been through too much shit. Everything else just sucks and it's hard sometimes. Moving through it though. Midbird7H. Okay, here's what I've got to say. That people in my position are living without any satisfaction is selling it short. See, when I was in high school, I felt the same way. I thought I had to get myself some kind of unique, creative, interesting job in the future or I'd be stuck in drudgery and misery forever. As I went into college, I thought I had to live cheap because debt would ruin my life, and get through college fast and shove my way into a fabulous career. I wound up working in a warehouse and very, very much in debt. So, life over, everything is ruined now, right? As it turns out, it's more complicated than that. For one thing, I've realized I'm more happy keeping my hobbies as hobbies. I like trading art out for music or writing whenever it suits me, without having deadlines and responsibilities shackling me to creative pursuits, other than occasional freelance work. People who do what they love for a living may never work a day in their lives, but they'll also never have a vacation. My job pays well, has good benefits, dental plans are more important than you'd think, gives me 3 weeks paid vacation a year, and gets me home at 5 every day to relax and enjoy life's simple pleasures. To me, that's what it's all about. I have debt to pay off, but it's slowly getting smaller, as I start earning a higher salary at work and collect bonuses for my performance. I'm not nearly out of the red, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. My job is kind of boring and there's a guy there who drives me a little crazy sometimes, but it's honest work with good security, it keeps me on my feet, and it lets me afford a decent standard of living. True, I may never be able to retire, but that's just what the economy is now, and it's a less harsh reality than previous generations have faced. It's okay for your actual life to exist outside of your job, and it's okay to have some debts to pay off as long as you can keep up payments and still afford to live. Your life doesn't have to be a 24-hour loop of all your favorite things to be good. I'm better off than the people in a lot of other countries, and when I think about it, I'm better off than a lot of people in my own city. The fact that I have hours of free time, every single day, to enjoy the good things in life, and can consistently afford to enjoy them, that I can listen to any music I want, stack up books on the shelf, text and call family and friends all over the continent at any time, buy whatever I want for dinner, and do basically anything on my assorted electronics. That's a fucking good life. It's okay not to be a celebrity or a professional creator or wealthy or free from responsibility. Life isn't about perfect comfort and freedom. It's about doing well enough for yourself that you have the chance for some good times in between the work. A lot of people out there are still surviving day to day in poor conditions, or living in spite of a heartless government. If I can sit down at 5 p.m. every day after 8 hours of relatively minuscule struggles, and dick around for a few hours in a safe, quiet home in a safe, quiet country, with nothing to concern me until the next morning, I'm living the sweet life. Sinikachi6H. This is my life. Yet I have debts and yet I don't live extravagant lifestyle, but yet I can still save and go on vacations and have fun and have hobbies, and life is good enough for someone like me. Nerdnud3996H. This. I hate how almost everyone I've ever met feels like they need some big extravagant job to be important and live a good life. That's not true. You can live a very satisfying life by working a basic job or a desk job. Not everyone has to be a doctor or nurse or scientist or something huge. Like you described, I love being able to come home at 5 p.m. and not worry about anything and do what I want. I think that's one of the best things in life that a lot of people take for granted. Cat Butt Sniffer 24H. Even being a rocket surgeon or a scientist or doctor doesn't actually change anything. The hours are different, but when they get home they still have to cook and clean and poop just like the rest of us. Nerdnud 3993H. Yeah, exactly. Do people think their lives are glamorous just because they make a lot of money? Far from it. I work with doctors. The doctor I work closest with is always thinking about work. Always. Even when he's on vacation, he's constantly answering emails and phone calls and getting paged about his patients. So his whole life is his work, literally. Never has a moment where he isn't thinking about it. So I don't understand people who want that kind of stress and pressure on them constantly, just to make a bunch of money that they really can't enjoy because they are consumed with work. Call me crazy, but I'd rather save my money and not go to grad school, work a desk job, and be able to enjoy my life and save up for a good retirement rather than spend every waking moment consumed by my job. People tend to equate a good job with success, and that's just not true. People can have middle-class jobs and still be very happy and successful in their own way. This isn't a D and 4H rocket. Takathy 6H. So, to sum it up, some people are just happy and some are not. Isenazbe 5H. Your life doesn't have to be a 24-hour loop of all your favorite things to be good. This is so well put. This is what I have also learned, living a not-so-adventurous life. Dazo 81475H. Have a shiny silver trinket. This was wonderful to read. Absolutely nailed it. Potral 8H. I started my own web agency, got into pottery and bought myself a motorbike. So yes, I'm still working 9-5, but I work for myself. Winter sucks because it's cold and dark, so I have my pottery to do inside in the warmth and I get something out of it whilst being productive. Summer is awesome because of the longer evenings. That's where the motorbike comes in. It's all about the little things to counter the time spent sat down 9-5 job routine. LL 1124H. You're my new hero. Lilac Sweetener 9H. You have friends, hobbies, relationships, dating, nights out, money to travel, acquire enough leave to go away for weeks at a time. If you make zero effort to make your life interesting outside of work, then yeah, it'll feel bad. But no one's gonna live your life for you, so you have to make the effort to get out on weekends or after work. And the best thing is you have the money to do so. Plus, not every 9-to-5 job is terrible. Almost anything is better than being unemployed, being on the dole welfare and not having enough money to actively do anything with your life. Edit. Also, technically fast food hospitality jobs aren't 9-to-5. Their times vary wildly and they don't get leave or perks. 9-to-5 jobs can be quite cushy and the perks are great. Anarches 112H. I feel like one flaw of our generation is that we put a lot of weight on how interesting or enriching our job careers are. Don't get me wrong, everyone should have a right to follow their dreams and do something reasonably enjoyable, but it seems like there's a lot of people who think if their 9-5 ends up being a means of income and not individual satisfaction, they've failed. I wish as a society we would put more emphasis on living our life outside of work to its fullest. Vleast 4209H. Don't remind me. Spaced the Final Frontier 6H. Breaks down, cries. 2 decades of 9-5 comes rushing in. For what? Just Anna 7H. There isn't much of an alternative. Everyone needs money, so you have to work. Most get hobbies to pass the time. These can range from learning a new skill to remodeling their entire house, or they can even take a turn to drugs. Of course, most people do get married, and that is its own can of worms. My point is that you find a way to spend your free time doing something you enjoy. Also, no matter what anyone tells you, even your dream job will have days that you hate it. That's why you get paid to do it. Sonderling Delgado 9H. I wouldn't go so far as to say happy. Most people want to be alive. Most people do the best they can. However, with the way society is structured at the moment, there are certain things you have to have. You have to eat, so you need a job. To get a job, you need a car. A car needs fuel, plus other costs. It keeps adding up. If you could live on a farm, then you could grow your own food and wouldn't need the job. But then you would want other things, like internet or makeup or whiskey. Then you would need money. Eva Dawn 27H. Living on a farm, you can grow your own food, but it is a buttload of work to do. I grew up on a farm doing shit like that, and I can tell you that it sucks. And you'd need a job to buy your farming supplies and seeds, and that really adds up very fast. And if you have livestock, you need money to feed them, and winters are really tough. Billy Butcher -6H. Farmers work 10+ hour days for a pittance. Jetreditor Humba 9H. Finish high school, then get back to the rest of us as to what you are doing. Teen TE7HY. In this scenario, are you doomed to getting a college degree but working at a fast food place? Usually, after college degree, you get paid more than a fast food job. Also, working a job is better than being unemployed and broke. Even at a fast food place, there's a lot of reasons why a person would want to live beyond having a job. Is that all you think life is? People have passions and families and friends to live for. Honestly, your outlook on life is a little concerning. Maybe you should go see someone about it. But Orange Man Ispado 3H. You've got to do things outside of work. And outside of family too. You need a self-identity. Who are you? A gamer? A painter? A fitness nerd? And no, staring at social media for all your free time doesn't count. Emo, the best thing you can do is create something you can be proud of. Paint a painting, program a video game, win a race, do something in your spare time that builds to something you can say, look what I can accomplish. Faradiba 117H, you work to live, man. I don't want to come across as rude to you, but wait till you out of high school and be exposed to the real world. Some things, many things will happen not like what you expect it to be, and you have to do anything to survive. Just appreciate the happiness and freedom you have now. Msjenks 6H, what's your plan? Ijaricase 8H, I don't think for many people it's a choice, Brock. MLS To Impress 7H, you get used to it. Don't kid yourself into thinking you'll be any different. Statistically speaking, you'll most likely end up in a job that doesn't have great starting pay out of school and do the same thing every day until you die. That's what most of us do. You can choose to react differently though. Learn and grow in your free time. Cultivate hobbies, relationships, and skills. Ninja Mahaha 3H, and lots of people have more than one career in their lifetime now, so you can do different things. Steve 4H, regular people, you live how you want to live. Every choice is yours. Everyone is happy in different ways for different reasons. My ex-wife 27 came from a single-parent home, poverty, everything stacked against her. She worked hard in college and made smart decisions while going. She got her associate's degree, registered nurse, from a community college using government financial aid and scholarships, didn't pay a dime out of pocket over the 3 years. She then researched and worked in a hospital that offers financial help for contract towards her bachelor's degree. With that help, along with her writing essays for scholarships and grants, she got her degree from University of Washington, netting plus $5,000. So she has a degree where she can make $80,000 plus a year doing what she loves without any student debt. You don't have to dive into the most expensive private university for some degree that you might not even use. There is so much assistance to people it's not even funny. You can choose what you buy, how you budget, etc. So many people have this idea that you have to have everything your neighbor has. It's okay to not have every video streaming platform, fastest internet package, cable, fridge stocked full of alcohol, Uber Eats, and like services. Honestly, use YouTube if you don't know how to cook. It's free. There's a million ways to save money and still eat well. Life isn't always in fun. It's about budgeting your time, being responsible as well as enjoying life. Put effort forward into the things you do. Someone will notice. And if they don't be upset about it. It takes baby steps to work your way to a better life. Nobody is stuck in one place forever unless they think that they are. Last piece of advice, please stop believing everything you see on TV and in Hollywood. Life isn't that dramatic or awful, it is what you make it. Every struggle can be overcome. Peliquint Midian 5H, they're not happy because of those things, they're happy in spite of them. Happiness comes from inside. Figure out what does it for you and keep doing that. Xeon Trooper 7H, who says we're happy? The 9-5 job pays the bills. I heavily doubt the debt will be paid off soon. Though I did manage to get a house and not an apartment. Honestly, I work to support the wife and kids. I just tell myself that a dad is about sacrifice. If they are happy, I did something good. Slurpscup 6H, I needed this. Xeon Trooper 5H, anytime. Been promising my wife for 2 years she'll get the minivan she really wanted. Finally got her one last year. All I took was trading in the first car I ever bought. Of course, my first car was no longer safe to drive and I did want to repair it. But I had to weigh everything out and sacrifice it so my family could travel safely. Owned my first car for 9 years. Hopefully I can keep my second car, my daily driver, longer. Waynesworld 8H, stop attacking me. If house burns down 4H, believe it or not, there are actually successful millennials out there. I'll probably get downvoted because Reddit doesn't like to hear that. I work for a large company. It's not your typical 9-5, but it's basically the same. I get great benefits and make great money. I don't have any student debt thanks to a scholarship for undergrad and then going to a cheaper school for my bachelor's. My wife and I own a 2000 SQFT home in a decently large city. Yeah, my work might be routine and boring sometimes, but it gives me the means to live a life I enjoy and to provide for my family. I used to work a job that I loved and wasn't your normal corporate job, but I was greatly underpaid and money was tight. There's definitely a trade-off more than often, but based on my experience, do what you're passionate about. No matter the pay scale, you will be fulfilled in life and won't get burnt out. Edit, pushed send before finishing my comment. Dakar D1H, I hear you. I'm in the same boat. I have a corporate job as well, but it comes with a ton of benefits. I get to work from home most days, which means I get to see my kid for breakfast and pick him up from daycare at 5. At lunch I can exercise or work on hobbies, or even just do routine crap I'd do on the weekend otherwise. Today, buying 20L of wiper fluid. When you're older and have real responsibilities, kids, family, mortgage, insurance, etc. A career is awesome. Plus you can do whatever you want in your free time. Want to learn to scuba dive? How about playing guitar? Like restaurants, go to one. Want to drive a BMW? Go for it. Sure, that 40-year-old you see at the cash register might have a shitty life, but you don't have to. Use your time now to set yourself up for life. You have access to the world's knowledge via the internet. Make use of it. Explosive Pimples 1H similar situation at 26. Don't feel like I fit in here on Reddit either. Minch or Munch 9H I totally think it's possible, but you need some strong mental health for it, because if your mental health is weak, a setback can set you into self-pity and whoop into depression. If not, you can absolutely find the joy in life even if it's not in work. Not everything you do for fun must pay you. Not everything you get paid for you must enjoy. Amandaj Sky 4H This mental health is super important. I've made posts almost exactly like this one recently. What I came to realize was that my depression was coloring everything very negatively, and I need to get my head right so I can appreciate the good things and not worry so much about the bad. Jazain 4H because they might have great friends and family that they spend all their free time with. KiwiKid 147H I thought my life would be different, but I love my job. I have great friends and invest time in my hobbies and health. I no longer live in a shoebox and have paid off my student loans, so take some good holidays. I grew up knowing I could work hard and not everybody can. It's not fun or romantic, but I educated myself, gained qualifications, worked hard and earned enough to enjoy my life even if I have to wait for some indulgences. If that life isn't you, then make your plan. Think about what life do you want? How will you pay the bills for your lifestyle? What are you passionate about and what are you willing to do without? Don't say influencers or other ideas that anybody else can pay for your choices. How can you get what you want ethically? EIANER 6H I wasn't. I even loved what I did, but after a while of doing it every day, I hated it. I would come to work, because I needed to, eat because I needed to, travel 1 hour to work and back in shitty weather and shitty public transport because I couldn't afford a car, ate the cheapest option to the point where I dreaded food. I even started hating playing games because I would sit all day at work in front of the computer, and by the time I got home my eyes would hurt and I would get a headache. And almost all the people around me told me I should be grateful for what I have. Gosh, wanted to strangle them. The company went bankrupt 2 months ago, and everything I worked for just went poof. Years of this shitty torture for nothing. I couldn't afford rent anymore, so all that I've invested in my flat would be gone. I'm still searching for a job now. My family had to send help, but it's at the end and will most likely be homeless in a few months. At 26, looking back, since 18, I've studied and worked 8 years to get somewhere nice, and I end up with less than what I started. And somehow, after the panic went away, I feel like I'm happy for the first time in years. I don't want to be stuck in an office. I don't want to get a shitty train to work every day. I stopped eating for a while because I hated it and only cooked what I wanted and when I wanted, even if I feel like starving most of the time. And it scares me, because I grew up wanting stability over anything else, as I didn't have it in my family, and what excites me most now is the possibility and freedom of being homeless. I can start walking where I want. Maybe go to Tibet or something. Write and sing without really giving a shit about picky neighbors, and say a big fuck you to this inhuman society. So that's my answer for you. Fuck it, fuck them, do what you feel like, when you feel like, and take the consequences as gifts. They're far better than being stuck in medication and apathy the rest of your life. Serg 3333H Fuck, man, I relate so hard to this. I wouldn't say I had everything, but everything had more or less gone according to plan and I was on track. Then after a series of unfortunate events, nothing. Back to square one. Then so much fucking guy gnawing dread. It took me a while to accept everything was gone, but then I realized I was free. I was at square one again, but this time I choose the game. Xeno Senpai 6H I got into a trade and I have practically zero debt. Surfturtle 773H came here to say this. You don't have to go to college and amass huge student loan debt. The trades really need people, and you can start making pretty decent money right away. You know, the old on-the-job training that used to be more of a thing. I was someone who never thought I would go into the trades. High school mostly pushes us towards and primes us for college, right? But outside of playing music, my other career path, being a carpenter, has been the most satisfying way to make a living, for me. I make great money, and every day brings a new and exciting challenge, and most days the hours just melt away. There's also a certain satisfaction that comes with building things or making things work, like electrical systems, HVAC, plumbing, etc. A tangible sense of I did that. Not only that, once you've reached a certain point you can either start working for yourself, or become the one in charge, which adds a whole other level of satisfaction. Highly recommend at least taking a look, because I wished I had sooner. Chevron 7 encoded 2H starting an electrical apprenticeship is the biggest mistake of my life. I make shit money and probably won't be able to use any of my joints if I keep it up any longer. Don't tell people shit like this without telling them they are sacrificing their health for next to nothing. Doofus Tiny Rick 6H I enjoy my office job. I'm good at researching issues and finding fixes for them and or discovering where paperwork was mixed up causing the problem, etc. It feels like solving puzzles. My manager and coworkers are super chill, and I can listen to podcasts most of the day. The pay is less than I'm worth, but more than reasonable considering how enjoyable I find the work. I also only work those hours, no weekends, and I have pretty good benefits. I also worked several years in retail in college and for a few years right after, making me grateful to have a job where I'm not on my feet all day, making barely enough to live, having to work 2 part-time jobs so they didn't have to give me benefits, and crying driving to work every day because I hated it so much, working my 10th day in a row with no prospect of paid time off or being able to see a doctor. Having that retail background made me realize I'd always have a job, I just might be working something I hate for a bit. This is how I knew I could support my husband through his doctorate. He's brilliant and he deserved the education, so we made it work. The fact that he works as a child therapist in underserved communities makes me feel good, too. I'm fiercely proud of him. What I'm saying is, you'll find a job you can enjoy, or at least tolerate, no matter what. And what you do outside of work is all you. A 9 to 5 really isn't that much time to invest if you have a low-stress job. Plus, the older you get, the faster time flies. I've lived all over the USA for my husband's internships. We have 2 awesome dogs. We have friends and a social life. We eat great food and see great art and have deep conversations. It sucks to still not feel financially secure at this point in my life, but I'm comfortable. I'm through the phase of bouncing checks every month. That's just the worst. So stressful, but yeah, it gets better. Woolahut 6H about the job. Honestly, I would kill for a 9-5 office job. I don't even have to have my own office or cubicle, just my own desk. I'd rather have that than the underpaid seasonal work I'm doing right now where I don't know if I'll have money in 4 months. I also don't mind living small. As long as I fit, I'm good. I don't need a huge house. Satan Handshake 6HIDK. My big corporate job is helping me pay for my school without taking out any loans. In a few years I'll be able to start looking for a job in the actual career I want, debt-free. You don't go from high school to automatic success. You gotta put in the sweat and time. Jatenlucky 5H. Get a degree in something you like that also has value to other people and you won't end up like that. Unity 1 Light 3H. Keep living young lad, you'll have your answer in about 5-10 years. Suck my anime tits 6H. It, a bunch of high schoolers who do not know how life works. Hdalas 3H. But why can't I just enslave other people to provide all my needs and wants for me? That's what my parents did. Joasaur 6H. Come to the UK. Working minimum wage 9-5 with a 3-bedroom house, 2 cars, 5 pets and a wife and child. Clunky Chimp 6H. I live in sheer defiance of the uncaring universe I was born in. Instead of being born a simple-minded creature running on instinct like a lizard or a bird, I was given the gifts of love, humor, appreciation and creativity. I consider myself an optimist. If I get a real good iced coffee, I had a good day. I live life to enjoy life. I don't have a lot of money and I don't have everything the way I want it, but the trees and the sky look nice today. Perilous all 2H. So much in life is about expectations. If you expect your first job to pay enough to buy you a mansion and fleet of pricey cars, then you're either a pro athlete or someone who is going to be depressed and disappointed until your outlook changes. Cherry Blossom Storm 9H. There's a few strategies. 1. Vote, organize, protest, spend time on these things. You will make friends. Fast food workers deserve to live too. 2. Become minimalist. Spend very little. Look into fire. 3. Spend lots of time pursuing education. Work 80+ hours a week. Make work your project passion source of enjoyment. 4. Spend as little time at work as possible. Live as cheaply as possible. Don't save for retirement. Just have lots of free time and enjoy it till you die. You get lots of time to have fun while young this way. Another perspective. Sometimes I wish I was an assembly worker, just for a week or 2. If I make a wrong decision there could be a device recall and lots of people could die, etc. Or the bussiness could lose millions. People 3 times my age ask me what should we do about this and expect me to know, but I still feel like a child. Work is mentally exhausting and leaves me with little mental energy to do things when I get home sometimes. I'm a Ripavocado 6H. Look, I have a different approach. I work as an independent lawyer and law school professor. I don't have a boss. I don't have to wake up at a certain time and can pretty much decide what I do and when I do it. But all I want is a 9-5 job so I can stop waking up at 7 to go to court or class, stay up working till, sometimes, 2 a.m. And so I can, finally, take some vacations, cause I haven't stopped working since 2 years ago. I live well, but I'm not rich by any means, and I'm just so tired. I want to come home and stop thinking about work all day without a client calling me at 10 p.m. because they have an emergency. It's never an emergency. Sorry for ranting, but a 9-5 job sound like an amazing deal to me.
If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button below and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thanks for watching.